It's the fall of 2008. You cannot leave your home and you're suggested to not hug or even meet your dear ones. The world is fighting the outbreak of RADS, the respiratory distress syndrome. The governments all around the world are trying to answer to the same questions. What problems are people living beside the medical ones? What kind of support and resources would they need? Is it familiar? Probably it is. But no, we haven't set the wrong date or the wrong acronym for the virus. It's not 2020 and it's not COVID-19. But yes, it is very similar. The incipit I just mentioned is taken from a 6-week future forecasting simulation titled Superstruct, designed by Jane McGonigal and run by the 10-year forecast group at the Institute for the Future. It was 2008. Jane and her colleagues were not foreseeing the future. There were no magic formulas or considerations. They just did their job. They looked at the world around them, found signs of things that are changing, and developed a what-if scenario. Still, what is interesting for us is another aspect of this story. It is what happened in the winter of 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic actually happened. In January 2020, Jane started receiving messages from Superstruct participants like, "I'm not freaking out. I already worked through the panic and anxiety when we imagined it 10 years ago." Or "time to start social distancing," even if it was just January and the awareness outside China was still far to come. This story is told by Jane herself in her book Imaginable, published in 2022, and has two main takeaways for us. First of all, the COVID-19 pandemic can be the flagship example that what we label as unthinkable is actually much more than thinkable, can even become real. All of us would have considered almost impossible to be forced to stay home for months. We did it. It was not impossible or unthinkable. It was just out of our comfort zone. Second, the people that wrote Jane are the clear demonstration that future simulations prepare our minds and stretch our imagination to be more flexible, agile, and embracing towards those unthinkable events that may actually take place sooner or later. Why are we talking about this in a MOOC titled Platform Thinking for the Metaverse? Well, because we are talking about disruptive technologies that, while being screened off, are often labeled as unthinkable. This video is a kind invitation. It is the invitation to take time to imagine, to ask yourself questions like "what if?" or to think about how you would react to extreme situations. Jane's book is a great reading to enter in the world of future thinking, and we are definitely suggesting it as a further reading. The metaverse is not here yet. Many think to have got it all and to have the chance to label it as the bright future, the dawn of humanity, or something that will fade away. We believe that we simply cannot see the future, but we can look at what happened, trying to imagine what will be and using platform thinking to reimagine ourselves and our businesses in the world that will come. Therefore, we invite you to go through 3 different short exercises. First of all, look back. I have no idea of how old are you. That's part of the beauty of being in a MOOC. So let me give you some alternatives. Do you recall the first mobile phones, or when the emails arrived? Or again, when websites started appearing? Or the early social networks? How have you felt? Try to think back to your ability to read those new opportunities and their potential impact in your daily life. I can easily think about people in my life that said that would have never been able to write through a mobile phone, that now send pictures to WhatsApp spamming everyone in their families. But also journalists foreseeing the end of social relations due to social media. Usually, when we approach something with a disruptive nature, we tend to have extreme reactions, while reality tends to be neither black or white, but gray, integrating change and taking time to evolve and to spread. We pretend to say we live in fast-changing times, and surely they are fast. But we are not so special. It is simply faster. It seems that even Henry VIII said that this world is changing and changing fast. We must change with it. Are you too young to remember any of those moments I was mentioning? Just look one of the first episodes of Black Mirror. It is a science fiction anthology television series created by Charlie Brooker that explores the dark and often dystopian consequences of the intersection of technology and society. Each episode presents a standalone story that typically takes place in a speculative future and explores the negative impact of technology on individuals and society. It is incredible to see how some of the very first episodes, released in 2011, thought as dystopian future can be not so far from reality. Significantly less extreme, but not so far from what came. Exercise number 2. Take something that is changing around you, something that Jane would call a signal of change, a concrete example of how the world could one day be different. In her book, she mentioned as an example the first no drone zone sign she saw. How would be your life in a world where that example is not strange, where it is just ordinary? Would it change your daily life? Would it change your work? While I'm writing this text, I've been, for the first time in my life, tried quite intensively to work, or better to play, with artificial intelligence. Some of the examples reported in this MOOC were found by ChatGPT by OpenAI. I've spent quite some time imagining how my work would be when this technology could actually be mainstream. What about you? Third and final exercise. Live the present. Go 10 years in the future, whatever it means. And think to the disruptive technologies around you and all the trends that you are living in these days. It may be strange, but take your time to imagine who you are, where you are, what's your job, how's the world around you, what happened to those trends we were mentioning before. We're talking about platforms and about the metaverse. How will they be in 10 years? Don't worry, the point is not predicting the future. Maybe you will, probably you won't. This is a matter of agility, of flexibility, of developing the chance to embrace what will come with less preconceptions of the ones that our comfort zone tends to give us. Make it a habit. It can be fun, but also useful to embrace disruptive innovations coming.